Hi, my name's Terry, and I go by Terry Bear 14 on Instagram, YouTube, and also what's the other one? TikTok. So I just wanted to share. I'll be dropping gems and crystals here and there to light the way for others, just due to the fact that I'm untangling grief, and I've been untangling grief for a while now. It just kept coming and coming and coming, and right now I'm in a safe place and a soft spot. I've landed in a soft spot. So I'm gonna start with how it all began, and if I didn't say what I did say what the purpose of this was. So I'm going to kind of be speaking off the cuff, and hopefully I don't lose you in the process, but hopefully whatever I share can help somebody. So it started with losing my biggest loss ever, my father. It was the first loss, and it was the biggest at that time. And my father and I were very close. I also grew up with a stepfather, but he was never my father because I already had a father, so nobody could replace my father. And we had a very tight emotional bond. And my father is the one who kind of helped me to be vulnerable, helped me to express my feelings, and he taught me to be me, and don't be afraid to explore, and just don't take life too seriously. And we would laugh and joke all the time and talk about serious issues and world problems. And at the end of the day, now that everything has kind of a little bit come full circle, I'm able to see that my father probably was I didn't really realize I would get emotional here, but I'm getting a little emotional. But my father was probably here as a protector, even though fathers are supposed to be protectors, but I mean, like, angelically, like he came, like that was part of the purpose, like maybe not to be my father who I lived with, but be the father figure who I could go to for anything. And my father didn't cause any trauma in my life. Sometimes our trauma that comes from our childhood, it comes from, a parent on how they raise us. And my mom and dad, they didn't cause any of that for me. Trauma for me came through other people. And so I really believe my father now, and this kind of just came to me a couple of days ago, was probably my safe spot and who I could go to if I felt the need to express myself and not feel judged. And he always made me feel beautiful, and just being who I was just enough, and I really appreciate that now. Sorry that I keep saying but it's just me getting used to talking on camera. Also, so soon after my father died, my brother died, about 4 years after my dad to the day. So my father passed on August 11th, the year he passed, and then my brother passed August 10th, the year he passed, which was 4 years later and a day before my dad's passing. My brother died of cancer, and we were 17 months apart, and I was the older one. So I also dealt with survivor's guilt. And, sometimes being the big sister, you feel like, you're just thinking your little brother's always going to be with you, until you're not here any longer. So I dealt with that. And also, let me go back to my father's death. My mother was very instrumental in helping me get through that grief, even though she and my dad were no longer, together. They broke up when I was really little, maybe about 3 years old. I never knew my mom and dad together. I always knew them as separate. So I was never one to oh, I wish my parents were still together. No, I never knew them together. I knew them separate. And it did not bother me in the least, them being not together. And so shortly after my brother passed, I was in grief, dealing with his terminal illness, just worried for my mom, worried about my brother, and he had 2 daughters, and just always in constant worry over them. And so my mom, she was my brother's primary caregiver. And after my mom, took care of my brother, and he was sick, I would say from the diagnosis to the end of his life was probably maybe 18 months. So he didn't last long. He had a cancer called multiple myeloma. And you can look that up if you want, if you're interested in wanting to know what that is. It's like a blood bone cancer. And it was rare for his age. And he was 44 at the time of his death. And my mom, she passed about 20 months unexpectedly after my brother. And her death, it tore me to shreds. And I didn't even think I could live any longer, or, want to be here anymore. And I had my own family, and I had a husband, and, I was trying to keep it all together, and I had a lot of escapism I used. And my escapism didn't come in the form of alcohol or drugs. It came with traveling and hanging with friends and just trying to escape, and it's just finding a way to heal my nervous system. And I had to take time for that. It just didn't happen overnight. It took a couple of years, but I did it, But during that time, I experienced another loss. And it was the loss of, my husband and I's relationship. Right now, we're still married, but we're separated, and it's been about 4 years, going on 5 years now. And I'm gonna stop right here, but I'll come back. I'll start back and finish this story of untangling this grief.